Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Commodity TV here out of our studios in Munich. Today I have with me Greg Farron, the CEO of Treasury Metals. And of course, he want to give us an update because a lot of good things happened with the permitting of the Goliath Gold Project. Good morning, Greg.
Yeah, good morning. Nice seeing you again.
Yeah, nice seeing you again, and thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, my
I think
pleasure.
it's quite a while we have spoken. The last time I think it was around PDAC or something like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of good things happened. Maybe you want to give us maybe short of a rundown on the permitting and what happened the last 6 to 9 months.
Sure, sounds good. Yeah, you're correct. So after 5 years, probably closer to 6 years, and you've been involved the entire time.
That's right.
And more than $10 million invested in permitting in the First Nations work. We completed that with both the federal and provincial government. So that really sets us apart in terms of we can now fast track the feasibility, get into project financing discussions, and quickly move into construction when you look at the infrastructure and economics of the project.
Super.
And the second thing with the permitting, it obviously helps in terms of consolidation we'd like to do, and potentially selling the project. So it's quite a big step for us.
To bring some money into the bank also.
Yeah.
that's always not bad. Can you maybe specify the permitting a little bit more? Because we quite often we get requests from our viewers and they say, the Canadians, they always talk about the permitting here and the permitting there's done.
Sure.
And all of a sudden another permit is required. So maybe can you elaborate a bit more specifically on the permits you have obtained so far, why they are so important? Maybe also with the First Nations, social standards, stuff like that. And then maybe what permits are required when you have the project finance.
Yeah, correct. Yes. So the big step, it's called the environmental assessment. So we had to complete an EIS, environmental impact statement, which was thousands of pages. It looked at the project description, the site layout, and the impact on the environment, the economic impact to the community, how it would impact the regional communities, First Nations, all the communities in the area. So that goes back and forth for years. It goes through public comment period, and then you finalize that, and that was when we received the EA. And that allows you then to move into the construction permitting. So you can't get into the construction permitting until the EA is complete. And the construction permitting is things like your power. So you need to know the size of your mill before you can get your power hooked up.
Water treatment,
Water,
stuff like that.
exactly. All those health and safety permits. So those we've already begun submitting the applications. And those take anywhere between 1 month to 2 months. And in certain cases, things like your closure permit, it takes about 12 to 18 months. So those will be starting now and through the project financing construction stage.
Okay, super. I saw in your presentation you did the PEA in 2017, I think, on a basis of $1,250 gold.
That's correct.
And already the numbers were quite impressive. Maybe can you give us a bit of an idea, I would call it, even if the numbers change a bit, maybe there's some more capital required because you will divert a bit of production, you maybe will produce more than you thought initially, maybe now you want to work with reserve instead of resource, Things like this, please.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So we see that as our next big de-risking event is getting our pre-fees, which we're targeting Q1. We're going to have an announcement over the next few weeks on sort of the status of the project. And for most parts of the pre-fees are now done, which is good news. So I do have a good idea of where we're looking in terms of economics and changes to the site layout. And, there's going to be no significant change to the capital costs. So the all-in cost will increase from the PEA. And the nice thing is it'll be our first economic study using a reserve. So you're going to see similar grade, similar size mine. The mine life will be a little bit shorter because we're going to lose some of the resources that won't be converted into reserves.
Which is normal,
but once you're in production, those would typically become mineable again. And there's obviously a lot of potential to expand the resource. So yeah, we're quite excited about that. We've got a lot of leading firms in Canada and Australia working on different aspects of that, the pre-fees, and we'll get that update out in the next few weeks in terms of the work we're doing and when that'll be completed.
Fantastic. Will it still be based on 1,250 gold?
No, we'll use, you typically use about a 3-year trailing, so you'll be closer to sort of 1,350, 1,400. So that will obviously have a great impact on the economics, especially the fact
positive,
that
hopefully.
Positive, and considering the capital costs haven't changed significantly, it should have a good impact on the overall numbers. And you're going to see slightly higher operating costs, especially in the underground. but the open pit costs haven't changed that much. So it should have a positive impact. And the Canadian dollar is still fairly weak, so that gives you another, the Canadian dollar is close to $2,000 gold right now. It's about 1950 Canadian. So it should have a good impact, positive impact on the results.
Yeah, fantastic. So what is money in the bank? Because all this work requires money, of course. Are you financed for, let's say, this year, next year?
Yeah, that's correct. Well, I mean, what we've been doing, with the delay in getting the permits done, we really focused on getting the permits completed. So that's now happened. And we had really slowed down the spending on the drilling and the engineering.
Makes sense.
So now we're getting more aggressive on the engineering, because we're still sort of managing our cash as if the market is still recovering. You know, we see things should turn around by the first or second quarter of next year. We've had a nice improvement in the gold price this year, but the market still isn't quite opened up like we're expecting it to next year. So we still are managing cash very closely. We did raise $4 million earlier in the summer, and we're still have about half of that left. And, you know, we'll continue to raise capital as we need it.
Yeah.
And as the windows open up.
And you're getting it.
Yeah,
which is not normal in that market.
Yeah, yeah.
That it shows the quality of your company, I would say.
That's correct. Yeah, we've raised about 35 million, 40 million over the last 5 years developing the project. So we've always had the ability to access capital, partly because of the location, the jurisdiction, and the infrastructure and the grade of the project.
Fantastic. If I look at, let's say, the precious metal market in common, especially at the large producers, it looks to me a little bit like they have lacked on exploration and now they have to do M&A. Wouldn't you be a perfect target to be?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
yeah. Well, you know, what's been surprising is the M&A has been quite quiet since the gold price has recovered. But I do know the producers are going to start reporting Q3 results in the next few weeks. And typically the Q3 and Q4 are their strongest earning periods, because all the changes they put in throughout the year start being reflected in Q3, Q4. And then you've got the improvement in the gold price. So you're going to see very strong cash flow, you know, solid mines optimized. So we think in the first, second quarter, they're going to start looking to acquire projects. And Treasury would be a great fit, having the permit done in a good jurisdiction, infrastructure. And there's a lot of regional consolidation that we're going to try to get done as well. So we're looking to acquire different projects over the next 6 months in our close proximity to our mill and tailings facility. And that should help attract interest from the mid-tiers.
Fantastic. Last question. You have also, I would say, a lot of exploration potential outside of Goliath, like with Weebigee, for example.
Sure, yeah.
Can you comment a bit on that now?
Yeah, sure. So what we've done over the last 2 years in the down market is we acquired 3 interesting gold projects. Most people don't know about in Ontario. One, Gold Rock, which is south of us. Weebigee to the north of Red Lake, up around Musselwhite. And we also acquired a large land package in Timmins called Shining Tree. We did all that for about $2 million in equity, so quite attractive prices combined. And the nice thing about the Weebigee project, there's a group in Toronto called G2 that's earning in on the project, so they have to spend about $10 million to earn 70%. And the last year, they've made a number of great discoveries, 10 grams over 10 meters, 35 grams over 8 meters. Last month, they reported 450 grams over a couple of meters. And so it's a large land package. It's very early. It's very remote, but it's got the potential to be a whole new gold camp. So we're quite excited to have a 30% interest in that project.
Meaning you have the foot in the door.
Yeah, we have a foot in the door, and we don't have to fund anything at this time.
Well, that's also lovely. Super.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, thank you very much. Great update, and we look forward to your upcoming news flow now. And of course, the pre-feasibility study, I would say, is the next big thing. And then good luck with the project finance.
Yeah, great.
Thank you very much. Great. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Greg Farron, the CEO of Treasury Metals. And you heard it, the company did extremely well in 2019. They really fulfilled a lot of milestones, a lot of good permitting stuff, EIS, EA, etc. And now working on the pre-feasibility study. Company has also financed themselves quite well. And they always get the money because the project is really outstanding. And I think, I could imagine also with the pre-feasibility that the numbers will even more and more improve because gold price is much, much higher. And also they are working now on a reserve statement, which I really appreciate also. And I would say check out the company. Thanks for watching us and bye-bye from Munich.